What's up, Starcraft fans? Last week, I put out a video of me and Tutu playing Railroad Switch as Abathur and Horner, and we struggled a little bit, so I was wondering, could professional players beat this mutation as Horner? So I challenged Harstem and Upatree to beat this mutation on brutal difficulty as Abathur and Horner. To make things more enticing for them, I offered them a reward. If they're able to beat this mutation on brutal for both of them as Abathur and Horner, I will offer them $500. Yeah, it's right there. If they're able to beat it, they get $500. The catch is, every time they lose, the prize gets cut in half. So if they beat this first try, they get 500. If they beat it second try, they get 250. If they beat it third try, they get 125, and so on. So I actually have Tutu this week to help me commentate the replays. They've sent me the replays, and we will commentate, we will analyze these replays to see how they did compared to us. So let's actually begin. Tutu is on the call with us today. Tutu, how are you?
Excited to see how others do.
I'm excited because it's Chinese New Year. Oh man, Happy New Year.
Yes, still got a little, Happy New Year.
Still Happy New Year. Actually, in the Philippines, we're actually celebrating tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow is Chinese New Year for us. I don't know why. It's not the same for you. But anyway.
Oh, it's the night before is the big day, like family dinner stuff.
Yeah.
So it's still tomorrow.
It's still tomorrow. Okay, I'm glad to know that we didn't get that mixed up. Anyway, we have Harstem spawning here in the north base as Horner, and we have Upatree Zelda spawning here in the eastern base as Abathur. So, first off, we have Harstem deploying these mag mines here. What do you think about these mag mine deployments, Tutu, on the ramp?
This magma deployment looks like they're going to fight the first wave at the ramp. That's what they're intending. They know the location of the first attack wave.
Yes.
It's also important to note, if you didn't notice, both players are below 90 mastery, so they don't get the full benefits of their respective masteries.
That's true. Oh look, a second set of mag mines below the ramp this time. And Upatree Zelda is trying to, well, he's burrowing a drone. I wonder if it's must be a hotkey. He's burrowing a drone. Must be some pro player thing that only 1v1 players will understand. Anyway, he actually started with the gas first, so he's actually harvesting gas right now. He's floating 340 minerals and 60 gas. Wonder what for. So
Horner has a quick expo, which I think it's not a bad idea, because Horner needs good eco to do well, so getting a quick expo is not a bad idea.
Yeah, I think in our game we also tried to get a quick expansion rate, didn't we? I had like a couple of spines shooting the rocks while we were doing our Brutalisk farming thing. That one was tedious, my goodness. Everything needed to be perfect just to get that one run in. I was slightly amazed that Stixbender and I think it was Eviling, or was it JYK? I think it was JYK who did it. I haven't actually seen the replay yet. We might actually have a look later. Check out this this nest and magmine placement on the first train tracks. So
yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it better to have your toxic nests along the tracks rather than perpendicular?
The position of these 4 toxic nests is not very good, because the enemies will probably only run into the 2 on the right side since they head towards the ramp. So it's probably much better to put it in like a straight line in the path that the enemies might walk.
Alright, so that's one of the first things that we noticed in this first game. Although that being said, they are pretty good at taking their expansions, so do you use extra gas for Horner? If you're not going for air, that is, because normally when I play as Horner, I don't go for the air units, and I just go for the gases in my main. I know you did for this game.
Yeah, well, early on you want the gas so that you can get more carrier galleons plus the strike fighter platforms.
Yeah.
So I usually get the gas.
Yeah, for this. Oh, even for regular games.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Seems like
interesting.
they're fighting against Zerg, which is a bit problematic because they spread out a lot. And they
Yeah,
don't give a lot of biomass
they indeed don't give a lot
compared
of
to like
biomass.
Protoss.
Also, notice that they don't have a Brutalisk at this point. They have a Queen with 19 biomass, a Roach with 21 biomass, another Roach with 16 biomass, and this one with 3, this one with 0. Their Upatree playing as Abathur is spreading his biomass between his units, which I would say is not a great idea, especially because of how heavily Abathur relies on that first Brutalisk to deal damage to the train and the waves.
Note that the first train, the polarity of the first train belongs to player 1, which in this case is Han Horner. So Han Horner should attack the train as soon as possible so that Abathur has enough time to kill it before it leaves the track.
That's a good observation. They waited until basically the train reached their ramps before they started fighting, and that just delays their damage output. So now we come to the expansion, or rather the ramp leading to Upatree's base, where there's Zerglings that will actually waste a lot of these mag mines.
The mag mines, the ones that were Upatree's links went into the mag mines, and then the
Harstem's Zerglings.
Harstem's link went to toxic nest.
So
So it's kind of like wasted on both sides.
double waste. That's great micro on Amon's part. And these Zerglings are actually doing real damage to Harstem's mineral line.
Note that Harstem used Call in the Fleet to finish off the train, but it's dealing 0 damage because the train switched polarity.
Ah, yes,
So that
yes.
was unfortunate use of the call down.
But I don't think that's even bad normally, because the call to fleet sometimes bugs out the train, doesn't it?
I'm not sure. It's not. I don't know if that's a reliable method. It might sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen that once or twice in a run. Or it might have been the fire that's actually killing the train. Or yeah, that's bugging. Oh, Upatree is actually losing all his roaches here, and none of them are getting biomass. They're just getting surrounded and then subsequently killed off by the Zerglings. There are more roaches here,
Zerglings
but
cause a lot of headaches when there's polarity involved.
that's true. A singular Zergling can destroy your entire mineral, and that's actually GG from Harstem as they leave the game. So they've officially lost attempt number 1, so our prize pool will go down. For round 2, the prize has been cut in half. They are now competing for $250 against Amon. And Harstem is still playing as Han and Horner, and Upatree is still playing as Abathur. Same spawn locations. Worker first for both of them. If you're playing against Zerg last game, where would you lure enemies from, Tutu?
I would lure them at the ramp at the middle track. Well, in the same location as our run. Also, I would lure at the front of the top one where the first wave comes from. Like it's the same places where we lured.
Yeah. Oh, you mean
But,
the
just gotta engage sooner.
Ah, right. Yeah, I think a lot of their headaches in the previous game stem from the fact that, well, aside from not getting a Brutalisk, they waited for too long to engage the first train. The second wave spawns at 6 minutes, whether or not you engage the train early. So it's actually advisable to meet the train head-on as soon as it leaves the base, so you can start whacking it, and you'll have a better chance of killing the train before the second wave hits your base, which give you time to run back and meet the wave head-on. What do you think of this toss? Yeah, go ahead.
Also, I think the spine crawlers will deal more damage to trains than roaches.
Oh yes.
So instead of having like 5 roaches, you can have 1 roach getting all the biomass, and then the spine crawlers dealing damage along, like spine crawlers along the track dealing damage, plus hurting like whatever Zerglings there are.
That's true. You remember in a run with Abathur and Han and Horner, I camped this area above Han and Horner's base with spine crawlers. I think 4 spine crawlers and an Overlord spreading creep, and those guys would finish off the train in case Tutu wasn't able to bug it out, and that did work a bit for me. And I'm pretty happy that I did that instead of massing roaches, because roaches don't really deal that much damage to trains as opposed to spine crawlers.
Here we can see Upatree is getting an early evolution chamber, which is not bad. Like, you're gonna have lots of extra resources. Abathur is more limited on biomass than resources, so he can get an early +1 attack, and that's not a bad idea.
Oh, actually, you think the +1 attack is not a bad idea?
Like, early +1 is not, it's not needed, but it's not bad. Like,
Okay.
Since he already made it, might as well.
Might as well. I would actually argue that I'd rather spend the gas on getting a fast Mutalisk so I can get the Leviathan. That's what I use the fast gas for.
Oh yeah, that's definitely better. But since he already made the
Might as well.
His plan is to make his roaches stronger. He's researching +8 damage to light units for his
This one.
roaches as well.
It's Reaper Liberator, and I think I've been on record quite a few times saying that this is one of the worst enemy compositions in the game. Do you agree, Tutu?
It's pretty rough because Liberators punch so hard, and they come with battle cruisers later.
That's true. And Liberators...
Also note that with Just Die, when battle cruisers revive, they get full energy,
Oh.
so they get to Yamato something free.
Yes, absolutely. And they Yamato really fast now. Oh yeah, also the Ravens. So much annoying stuff. How many compositions would you say are more difficult than Reaper Liberator?
Depends on commander, but for these two, I would say Reaper Liberator is probably one of the most difficult ones. Plus, another thing that sucks is that they don't give a lot of biomass early on.
That's
the
true.
Reapers, whereas
Probably-
like even classic Mech Terran, the Vultures give quite a reasonable amount of biomass.
Even Classic Mech's better than this. You know it's bad when Classic Mech is less bad than it.
Yeah.
Sky Terran is probably the only one that's clearly worse because Sky Terran just doesn't give biomass and they're all air-based.
They gotta, yeah. So, Han Horner bugged out the first train, which is nice. This
That's
gives him
good.
time to fight the attack wave. Rush over to the right side.
What do you think caused that
But you
bug?
can see Amon's taking a detour.
Oh no. 3 worker kills, 4, 5 worker kills, 6 kills. 6 worker kills I think on those Reapers. And these Reapers that went up the ramp just wasted all of Harstem's hard-earned mag mines. Their army is cleaning out.
It's nice that they're together fighting, so not too many losses.
That's one thing that I would say. With Harstem and Upatree, they're always in the voice chat. And they're always pretty much on the same page whenever they engage. Oh, these Reapers wasting toxic nests.
Not completely, because the ones that were Abathur's did step on them.
Yeah,
So that was good.
about less than half, but yeah, that's true. Next train will come in from the west end. Or the western tunnel.
Yes.
This roach has 10 biomass, but it looks like more. Looks more.
Harstem's natural is way oversaturated, and he's still building workers. At this point, Han Horner should be fully saturated so he can focus on building army.
Actually, only the expansion is oversaturated for Han and Horner.
Oh,
The
yes.
main is
And-
under.
He should definitely move some away then, because it's already 17 out of 15.
Yes. I think both of his command centers are rallied to the main, so I think that's he's kind of correcting. Look, they're engaging the second train earlier, so I think that's
Just
them
nice.
learning.
That's good.
That's definitely good, because we're being consistent here. If you engage early, that's gonna help you kill the train earlier, which
Oh,
gives
no.
you more time to catch up to the later trains.
So Liberators are against Abathur. Abathur has no anti-air except these queens that tickle. So
Oh, he
they're in a
lost.
bit of trouble. Abathur can't engage because Liberators do about like 100 damage per shot.
Something like that. So, I think even
But
more.
Ravagers are here.
Ravagers.
Can deal with the air units.
This is actually why Abathur wants the Leviathan fast. Because the Leviathan's an air unit and the Liberators deal less damage to Leviathans. And you can actually just take them out earlier.
So there are 3 Liberators remaining, and they all
All
belong to
yeah.
Abathur. But Abathur has to take out his train, so he's like his hands are tied.
His hands are very tied.
Yes.
Is there any
Yes, so-
way to beat this? Do you think? Let's actually look at the situation. Upatree is floating 400 minerals. He's supply blocked. Do you think he could put down maybe some spore crawlers along the tracks to help fight the Liberators?
Yes, definitely would have helped. If he had recognized, with more co-op experience, he would recognize that the second train comes with Liberators, and then he could prepare spore crawlers in advance. This is something that you kind of learn with experience.
Yeah. Or, you know, watching other people play. Oh, Lala put down spore crawlers here, therefore it must be good. It usually is. Oh, that's...
Abathur unfortunately wasn't able to take out the train, so Han and Horner has no chance to take out either. So they're gonna let it go and just kind of scramble together an army to get ready for the third wave.
they will try to defeat the third train from here, but Sal decides to morph in Ravagers right under the Liberators, which is probably not that helpful. The other thing that's concerning here is that, yes, sure, they let go of the train in favor of surviving, but there's not much surviving that they're doing here. It's just retreating with whatever they have left. And it's mostly Harstem that's retreating. Sal just died. He's just trying to remake an army, which is probably not gonna fly because the third train is actually harder than the second train. That's what I've experienced at least. I think the third train is harder than the second.
So using Call in the Fleet and the space station. Is fine. It gives Abathur more time to kill it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I actually don't recommend using both of your top bars as Han and Horner on the singular train, because the next train after this is a double train, and you need every single bit of help you can get on double trains. Those are the real killers. And the third train, yeah, I guess even if they used both top bars on the third train, it still wasn't enough, so I guess it didn't really change. I think they lost the game even before the third train spawned. I think the game was lost on the second train when they didn't have any good response to the Liberators. What would have saved them?
Yeah, I think so.
What would have saved them?
Just like couldn't fight.
Yes, their fights weren't quite it, and they didn't have the tools that they needed to get rid of these Liberators, which, as we mentioned before, are spore crawlers. Let's move on. That's $250 lost. And now attempt number 3, they are competing for $125. Did you see any improvements across game 1 to game 2 for both of them?
I think they fought a different comp, so they had to deal with different issues.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I guess it's hard to say whether they did improve. Although that being said, I guess we didn't see the horizontal toxicness alignment from Sal anymore. So that's something that changed.
Upatree did decide to build Ravagers in the second game, which added an extra amount of extra DPS. But unfortunately, we didn't see a single ultimate evolution. Yes,
that's a critical thing, which I have to say, one of the most unintuitive things for 1v1 players in co-op is rushing ultimate evolutions, because they don't really deal with the concept of ultimate evolutions or biomass in 1v1, so they don't really get that idea rolling. Even when they're the best of 1v1 players, they don't really get in their heads to rush ultimate evolution, because they don't understand what a power spike it is for Abathur to get a Brutalisk with symbiote abilities. That being said,
I think in Warcraft 3 it's similar, where you kill creeps to level up your hero or something, but that's the closest comparison.
That feels more like a Dehaka sort of thing to me than an Abathur thing.
Well, similar in that you gotta kill stuff to get to get stronger.
An enemy-based resource sort of. Morphing a spine? I would say that's a bad idea. I did this thing in our games too. I morphed a spine at our expansions. so we can get him faster. But this was while we were luring.
And it's good that Abathur took the right base, because Abathur has, if he gets Brutalisks, has great mobility to respond to whatever shows up. And also, he has spare minerals to make just spines everywhere to stall time.
It's true. We have Harstem scouting with this SCV and figured out the enemy's Terran. And what enemy comp are we fighting? Tutu?
Shadow Tech. Once again, it's a rematch.
Ah, so it's going to be the same comp, so we can actually see whether they improved or not.
We'll see what's different. See see how they will deal with the Liberators, because they know that Liberators will come, since it's the exact same comp.
True. We also see that the toxicness are now aligned more along the tracks. They're more parallel to the tracks, so that might actually help with the attack wave.
That's a very good thing that you noticed, and it's a very good sign that they know, like, okay, this is a better position.
Yeah, that's actually something that they did. More Magmice here. Harstem, on the other hand, didn't learn that the Magmice didn't really do anything in the previous game. But they're trying again and hoping that it'll somehow work this time. Oh, that Magmine will connect.
Sometimes some players think like, hey, my Magmines are free, I might as well use them. Which, yes, but at the same time, you want to use them, like, you don't want to completely waste free things that you get.
Yes, they might be free, but they still need to produce value for you. If they're free and you waste them, you've not lost actual value, but you've lost the opportunity cost of getting actual value from your free stuff.
Yes. At this point in the game, Han and Horner should have strike fighters, and Han Horner normally should get an armory with the first 100 gas, but Harstem still doesn't have an armory.
Ah, that's true.
It's starting right now.
I think he
The
started.
armory is good.
Yeah.
The armory is good because you want to be able to send your
Strike fighters.
fighter to the space station wherever you want.
Ah, that's
Not
true.
just
It gives vision.
singular vision.
It gives vision for the space. That's true.
Yes.
Notice that they
So
still. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, they could have flown in earlier, and then even without risking any of their units, they get vision from the strike fighter.
Yes, that would give them essentially free damage to the train and allow them to start whacking it earlier. And notice this game, related to what Tutu said, they still essentially waited for the train to get to their expansion or to get to the ramp before they started hitting. And notice here that the Reapers are still dealing the same kind of damage to Upatree's economy. Nothing. Yeah, there's actually no improvement to the previous game. All of the Reapers. Must have forgotten. That must have been it. Although they are dealing with it, but the train is actually just getting away this time. It didn't bug out.
They didn't handle this one as well as they did last time because they have fewer units remaining.
So it's a regression rather than an improvement. That's unfortunate. For them, that is. I'm sitting here pretty with 125 fewer dollars to offer them. So we have more Reapers. Yeah.
Abathur has 2 Mutalisks, so they know, okay, we need something that hits air stronger than Queens. Something that's stronger than Queens. And Mutalisks are good. We'll see how they do though.
Yes, Mutalisks are indeed more damage, or have more damage against air. The downside is that they are also quite easy to kill, especially if there are only 2 of them, or in this case 3 of them, and the enemy has a whole attack wave of Liberators. So they've lost a train already.
Yes. The Upatree is actively collecting biomass. Unfortunately, he's spreading them across 3 units, a Roach and 2 Mutalisks. So he has collected almost all the biomass that's available.
That's true.
There's still a few near his lair.
The unfortunate thing is this Roach has 63 biomass, the Mutalisk has 52. So there actually is enough biomass for one ultimate evolution, but it's split in half between 2 units. So instead he gets 0, and he doesn't get the power spike. The power spike is critical for Abathur to deal enough damage to the trains and the enemy waves. These 4 Liberators. 5.
The Liberators, they're all Abathurs because Han and Horner used Call in the Fleet to take out the ones that belong to him, at least the first life.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the Call in the Fleet is very good for damaging the train, especially after Abathur takes out the first life. But it was used early on and did hardly any damage because it was hitting invincible stuff.
That's true. While all this is happening, our Upatree did get a Leviathan. Unfortunately, he lost about 4 Mutalisks in the process, and negating or losing a lot of his firepower against the trains. And we have more Liberators flying in. They've already lost a train. They cannot afford to lose this one, or else they lose the game. Liberators are starting to see jump.
Did deal with the escorts a lot better this time because they had better anti-air. Unfortunately, there was not enough DPS to take out the second train.
Yes.
And
Something
gonna
else I
enter the
noticed.
station.
Something else I noticed. They didn't quite aggressively go into the. Oh, look at these airstrikes on nothing. I think Harstem assumed that the airstrikes would hit air units. Unfortunately, they don't. Yeah, something that I noticed that they didn't engage into the attack wave or into the escort as early as last game, but they did still deal with better. So, what do you think about that, Tutu?
So last time, when they went in, they
Didn't have.
Abathur went in with his few roaches and queen, and then he noticed, hey, I can't hit these liberators, and he started backing out. So this time they decided to just maybe they forgot or they decided let's just go together later on when we're like, ready.
That's probably what
That
happened.
was probably not the best idea.
Yeah, they still should have engaged into the train to kind of start whacking it earlier to give them more time to burst it down. Anyway, let's move.
It's possible that they were waiting for Call in the Fleet to do its thing so that they could get more biomass. Or at least that's what maybe was the plan.
Maybe that was the plan. In any case, they did get a Leviathan, but at the cost of too many Mutalisks. Maybe if Upatree banked those Mutalisks in the rear, that would be enough to kind of swing the tide a little bit earlier, but it's still not very likely. Let's move on. Attempt number 4. The prize has now gone down to $62.50. They have effectively lost $437.50. Thank you for letting me have that. So, good luck, have fun from Harstem, who is still spotting as Han and Horner. And Upatree still spotting as Abathur. Enemy this time is Zerg once again. Upatree getting a couple of drones. Enemy Zerg this time. So that's going to be annoying.
Let's see how they do compared to the first one.
First wave, or the first attempt, yes. Harstem.
As Han Horner, if you see Zerg, you probably want to make an early Hellbat. Just like what I would normally do is you put your supply depot and an armory or something, and then you put a Hellbat in the middle to like block, kind of funnel the links.
Ah, you can,
yeah. It doesn't work as well if there's polarity, but
well,
either way, Hellbats would be useful early on.
The funneling units into your forces, regardless of whether there's polarity, does still help because they're not all shooting, which means their effective firepower is lessened. But what I would actually do is make a Helion so it can break the rocks and would transfer into Hellbats once the enemy wave hits, so that
oh yes, that's definitely better.
I'd get the benefit of both. We have this SCV trooping back to the base. So once again, Upatree is making his toxic nests almost exactly along the tracks. But what's the story with this one toxic nest on the expansion ramp? I have no idea. Maybe he wants to connect the creep. He's using this toxic nest like a creep tumor. He wants to connect the creep between his bases or something. Roach Warren is completed for Upatree. I wonder if he ever thought of kind of doing a semi-wall against the enemy so that he doesn't lose his workers, because enemy Zerg, so that usually means Zerglings. What I would immediately think of is do a sort of wall here, a quasi-wall, to prevent the enemy from getting us around.
Alright, so Harstem sent out an SCV. He has scouted the enemy, as Devouring Scourge.
Oh, that's
so
an easy one, right?
Zerglings early on, and then air units later.
That's an easy one, right?
It is easy, but with Polarity, Han and Horner might lose Galleons.
Oh yeah, that's because the Scourge will kind of just ram into Hot and Horus Galleons.
Stop it.
What if Abathur made Overlords and just deploy them in the way so that the Scourge would aggro to the Overlords instead of the Galleons?
I think if you just stick together and you have like Leviathans, they can attack move, so
Oh.
you don't get rid of them.
That's true. That's true.
Kind of.
Kind of.
But Scourge come later on. That's like you gotta survive early game to get to that point.
Okay.
So let's see. The Reaper bombs actually like hurt because
That's
the
true.
links spread out.
Yes, I noticed that. When the Reaper spreads out the Zerglings, it kind of helps out Amon because that kind of pre-spreads them. So-
Nice burrow by Upatree.
Yeah, it
Burrowed
is good.
The roach that was getting hurt. So
That
in the first wave, they shouldn't send a detector. At least if you haven't used the toxic nest yet, so you can burrow and the enemies will run elsewhere. So you get some time to keep your roach alive.
Speaking of, this roach has 42 biomass and it's kind of neglecting this one glob of biomass just outside of their expansion. It's kind of a shame. I don't think
But
that's
still-
enough. Yeah?
I still think it's very different from what he has been doing previously because now he's concentrating all the biomass on one unit instead of spreading them out,
Which is
which is good.
he has another roach here at his main though. Do you think he'll?
Oh,
Oh no, he has 4 more. He has 4 more joining the
leader. It's the leader and his buddies.
Yeah.
So King
So
Roach.
is King Roach? It's not. He's not actually. Oh, now the biomass
Oh.
split between 2 roaches. It was almost
now it's
good.
being spread out.
It's now being spread out, which is unfortunate. He still doesn't realize that a Brutalisk would be more helpful than even 10 roaches. I think so, right? A Brutalisk is more
Yeah.
helpful than 10 roaches.
At least 0 biomass or low biomass roaches.
Yes. Oh, bugged out. That's lucky.
Train bugged out, but the second wave has hit the main of
And
Abathur.
they have
so
absolutely
gotta run.
nothing. I think it's once again the result of not hitting the train head on. Oh, look. This Hellbutt. Harstem's Hellbutt actually made the Zerglings funnel in between the armory and the starport. That was great.
Yes.
That was
That's a great
good.
move.
That was a great move. They should do more of that. Oh no, he morphed.
That was probably unintentional, but it was still good nonetheless.
It was still good, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say it was strategy. This one Ravager has 91 biomass. It was becoming a Brutalisk. I think that's a complete waste. Harstem, they need to morph that one into a Ravager, or
That's
rather,
alright.
up a tree.
It's still better, still good. It's gonna be useful, especially against Devouring Scourge, because early on it's just Mutalisks and a lot of Lings. Brutalists deal with Lings very well.
Yes, that's true. Brutalisks do have splash damage against ground, so they will deal with Zerglings pretty well, especially since the Zergs spread themselves out enough that they will get all splashed on by your Brutalisk. That being said,
All right.
they're once again letting the second train waltz right on up without any damage whatsoever. That is hurting their chances of killing the train fast enough to allow them to engage the second wave focused, rather than having to engage the second wave while also chasing the second train, or the third wave. Yeah, look
I
at
also noticed that Upatree has his whole army on one hotkey. Normally, as Abathur, you want your next Brutalist candidate to have to be on a single hotkey, so you can control it and have that one guy collect biomass.
He does have a separate control group of 2 roaches, but neither of them have biomass, which is kind of puzzling.
He has a separate control. His 4 key is hotkey to hatcheries.
Uh,
And his 2 key is
Yeah, there were two roaches earlier in control group 0,
oh.
but they're both dead now. You saw it, guys. You saw it. Go back on the YouTube replay. There were 2 roaches in a separate control group, but I think it was accidental rather than intentional.
So this enemy comp is a lot weaker, so they were able to take out most of the escorts pretty quickly, and Abathur has more DPS on the trains, but still, it's like
It's
there's still
still
2,500 HP left.
yes. So if you guys
And-
remembered my game with Tutu, how we burst down the second train was we had spine crawlers lining up below my ramp as Abathur, and that was what was dealing damage to the train enough to destroy it before it got away. Upatree here was floating 800 minerals. He could have probably afforded enough spine crawlers to burst it down. Unfortunately, we didn't quite make it to that point. He is getting
Good
another
thing is there's
Brutalisk.
3 Brutalisks.
Yes, that is
3
pretty good.
Brutalisks will be very helpful.
There is one queen here that belongs to Upatree now, and it's kind of holding them back. Look, Upatree is marching his whole army back.
I don't think he knows that he's not used to the Brutalisk having deep tunnel.
Yes, he could have just deep tunneled that.
Use deep tunnel.
And now that bought the train so much time, they will not engage the train until it's basically at the ramps. That's actually really bad. They're only going to start damaging the train. Look, as soon as it hits the ramp. And that's
the reason
really
why this
slow.
is very bad. The reason why it's very bad is because the next wave comes at 13 minutes. So
Yes.
if you don't bug out the train, the one of the allies, one of the players will be fighting
Destroyed.
the train as it goes like past the main of Han Horner, the first failure,
Yeah,
and you're not gonna have enough time, or you're not gonna be able to help fight the attack wave.
that's true. You actually want to engage the train as early as possible, again, to give yourselves the most time, so that you don't have to scramble your forces or get caught in between 2 attack waves or an attack wave in the train. You're gonna see what we mean, or you're gonna see what we mean later on. So,
Han
Upatree,
has
yeah,
800 more damage.
800 more damage. I believe this is Harstem's though. And it's still
it's Han Horner's train.
yeah, Harstem, Han and Horner.
Oh yeah, Harstem's train. Now it's
And I've
Abathur's
respawned.
train.
So you
But
can
the
see what
attack
we
wave
mean
isn't
here.
natural.
This is what we mean. The attack wave is freely able to ransack Harstem's expansion because the train is still alive, and the train is still alive because they didn't whack it earlier. Now they're chasing with their army rather than fighting the attack wave. So that's the direct impact of them taking their time on engaging the train, and that's GG from Harstem because Upatree does not have the damage output necessary to delete that one train. And I believe, yeah, both expansions are now dead to, well, Zergl's Scourge, and that's GG from Harstem once again. They have now lost the 4th round. So we are now on attempt number 5. Harstem and Upatree are competing for $31.25 because it has been divided. The $500 prize pool has been divided into 5 parts, or rather, yeah, into 5 times, so it's 32 times. And now this much is left. We'll see where they've improved on attempt number 5. Enemies Zerg once again, so it's the same race as last time. Have you seen any improvement between attempt number 4 and attempt number 122?
Their placement, toxic nest placements are getting better. They know like the path the enemy takes usually, so the fewer toxic nests are wasted.
Yes,
I think that's good.
that's good. On Harstem's side, do you think he's playing any better?
I think his armory's still too late.
Ah,
That's why he doesn't have like he doesn't use the space station early enough, because the space station should be used like at around 520 when
around
like,
520.
as soon as the enemies start walking alongside the train.
Well, their mag mines are still at the tracks, so
You see the toxic nest placement?
yes.
This is in preparation for Abathurs. So they're using these toxic nests to deal an extra 182 damage.
182 damage. Wait, how?
So I think he has all mastery on toxic nest, 0 on mend.
Yeah. Actually, something that I think Bao Marketing notices earlier. The both of them actually aren't using their men that much. We almost didn't notice, but neither of them are using men. Thank you, by the way, Ball Marketing, for the help earlier. Neither of them are using their men, and actually that would have helped them a little bit in the last game if they're able to chase down or even make the expansion survive for longer, as Upatree was chasing the train with his army.
I would say that the toxic nest placement along the tracks is gonna yield worse results than at first.
Well, why is that?
Because you don't want to use the toxic nest to damage the train unless you're trying to intentionally bug it out. Which means you need 15 toxic nests, and you need to manually detonate them at once, and the train must go down.
Speaking of,
doing that, it's not gonna work.
Speaking of, I don't think they even know about the manual detonate of the toxic nests yet. It's actually a big deal to know about manual detonate, because that's how Abathur gets fast ultimate evolutions. You lure the enemies into these toxic nests, you blow them up manually so that they get the most damage in, and then the roach gets all the biomass to turn into a brutalisk. And yeah, as you can see, they're all on autocast. Got Zerg here.
Someone is brooding corruption.
That's Dude Lords.
So Brute Lords later on. Brute Lords who just die are very, very
annoying. We both even use the same word. That's incredible. They are annoying because they keep making doodlings, and both those and all the doodlings have double life and polarity. The roach just died.
The roach went down,
and it didn't
mend.
Yes.
Didn't use his mend.
He didn't use his mend, and there's still a Zerg alive of Upatree's. He does not have any units to fight this one Zergling, so Harstem's fire bats are running away from a single Zergling because of polarity. Thank you, Blizzard.
He can run into the he lured them into toxic nest, which was good.
That was indeed good. This roach,
the roach dropped its biomass, the dead roach.
Well, in either case, yeah, in either case it's not enough. There's only 44 here. There's another glob here.
So Harstem used
space station.
Used the space station at 5:54, which is about 30 seconds later than when I would have used it.
Yes.
So, yeah. Earlier game, that if you use it earlier, you get more time to whack the train.
Yeah, it's an improvement, but not enough to matter, because they're still chasing the train when they should already be fighting this attack wave that's heading up Sal's ramp, getting ready to demolish him.
Ooh.
And all of these Zerglings are immune to Magmice, so the Magmice are once again wasted. I think Harstem could.
Now, Polarity has switched.
Oh no! Now this is
the placement. The placement of the toxic nest to deal extra damage was actually just wasted because they it wasn't his train.
That's true.
Lair goes down.
Lair goes down. Lair's down. And now the Zergs are still alive. And does Upatree have any army at this point? He has 1 Roach and 4 Ravagers. And Harstem has 2 Hellbats and a Galleon. So that's probably not going to be it, as both of them have left the game. That is attempt number 5, not gone their way. So are they actually improving, or are they just trying the same ideas and not really thinking of...
They're trying different ideas. I don't think that's a bad thing. They're trying different ideas. For example, using toxic nests where you think because they've probably noticed like Abathur has trouble dealing with the first train, so they're using toxic nests to help. They haven't considered using static defense though.
Yes, I think that's the main thing. The first train, well, not just the first train. I think it's all trains where they haven't considered pushing into the entrance here, or rather, pushing outside the entrance here to take out the escorts and the train earlier, so that they would actually have time. It would be such a huge deal if they could delete the train before 6 minutes, so that they would have time to scramble to this ramp at 6 minutes and meet the wave head on. Anyway,
as a 1v1 player, they're used to like using static D for defense, and they're thinking we need offense. So they're not putting spines along the tracks because they don't think that's something you would do.
Well, about that, Harstem is a Protoss player, and there's this thing in 1v1 called Cannon Rush. So I don't think it's entirely out of the realm of Harstem's world. That being said, they still have lost attempt number 5. Okay, that just also needs to be said that Upatree is a Terran player, which means they also know about bunker rushes. So both of them should know that you can use static defense offensively. And now, because they haven't realized it yet, we are now on attempt number 6, where the prize pool has shrunk all the way to $15.63. They have officially wasted $484.37 of prize money. Now they have $15 left. That's about, is that enough to buy a pizza in the US, Tutu?
Yeah.
Alright.
Depends which part, but yeah, you can get a pizza.
That's enough.
He did an extractor trick.
Oh, really? Sal did an extractor trick? Oh, nice. Oh, does that mean he's finally learned and he's about to do a Roach Warren first? Because the past few games, I noticed that Upatree's almost been going for... Oh, no. He there he goes again. Gas first for Upatree. Oh, man. That's rough. What would you want to go for an extractor first? What would you want to go gas first as Abathur, Tutu?
Only on Temple of the Past to spawn camp to get research overlord speed.
Oh, wait, can you get? Oh yes, you can. You can research overlord speed really fast. So on Temple of the Past, you can actually research overlord speed fast, and you can fly your overlord quickly to the first wave spawn and just camp it with toxic nests. That's Giga Brain. Yes. I actually haven't thought of that.
You can't. Yeah, you can't do that against Zerg. So you just check for creep. If it's Protoss, you don't need it, but you can't. You don't really know until you don't really know. So you just research it anyways. And if they're Terran, you fly right past the Marines.
Nice.
Hope
that's
there's
awesome.
No transmutation.
Hope there's no transmutation. Okay, gas. Double gas. Double gas for Sal. Okay, now what's the scenario for double gas here?
Nothing. Nothing optimal.
Nothing
He's
optimal.
probably going for early upgrades. So he got an early lair. I think the plan is to get faster Ravagers so they can deal more DPS.
Ah, so they're still thinking of units to fight trains, and it still hasn't occurred to them that they can use static defense, especially for Abathur. That's
Abathur is recommended for all players, right? All skill levels.
All skill levels. Well, Harstem and Upatree are probably at the top of the 1v1 skill ladder, so they probably wouldn't think of anything. They probably wouldn't think anything of it, even if it's said for experienced players, because among Starcraft players as a whole, they're probably some of the most experienced, being where they are in 1v1.
Yeah, that guideline is not really useful. Alright, 4 minutes. First wave is here.
By the way, I should done it once again. They have put their toxic nests along the tracks. And also, there are 2... Oh, Protoss this time. Yeah, notice that there are 2 toxic nests on the expansion ramp this time. I wonder what the logic behind that is. Okay, both of these Zealots are Upatrees. And down it goes.
Hope of the Kala is a nice comp, with the exception of the carriers later.
Oh.
You gotta focus those down. But Hope of the Kala is nice because there is very little splash damage.
Oracles are a killer, though.
No, none.
Oracles are a killer.
Oracles hurt, but there's splash. There's no splash. And Han Horner is very happy that there's no splash.
True. So once again, they are waiting for the train to come to them. Oh man.
They're trying to engage earlier this time, you see? This is a good sign. They're engaging a little bit sooner than they normally do.
No, they're not engaging. They're waiting for the train to come to them. Or they're pushing their border, their quote-unquote border, a little bit further. They're not engaging. They're still waiting for
so
the enemy.
Still 555 space station.
So no improvement over last time. They just pushed their border a little further.
Ravagers.
Ravagers. Oh yes, that is indeed damage. Okay. Oh, the mag
He
mine's
has not
wasted.
researched the Ravager, the radius upgrade.
Ah, yeah, it's still here. The one with the yellow thing. So once again, they're left chasing trains.
But
Oh,
they
this
got
time it did bug.
No. No,
Oh.
they kill both lives.
Oh, that was second life. But yeah, once
They
again,
did-
the mineral line is exposed because they didn't engage the first train early enough. They're way late into engaging. And now, well, they didn't. Abathur didn't lose that many workers. He was able to run them away, so he didn't lose that many. Still, it would have been.
Oh no, his biomass Ravagers.
Oh no,
He lost one.
he lost one.
Now he has 4 Mutalisks.
Now his formulas to spread the damage or the biomass. Oh, that Mulus just ate that biomass. There would.
Still 4 scouts attacking the command center at the natural of Han and Horner. Hopefully he sees that and repairs in time.
Oh
100
wow,
damage, 100 life. No, oh.
he did. He does
repaired
see it.
just in time.
Yeah,
He's repairing at
Harstem.
least.
Harstem is a professional gamer, so I would count on him to see that. That's not the sort of thing he
It
would
was
lose
really
to.
close though. It was really close.
True. Oh, he's dealing damage.
Oh, Mutalisk goes down. There are still 3 men, 3 charges.
Oh yes. Oh, I think they actually don't see the men thing. Yeah, Bauer marketing was right. They just don't see the men working. And now Harstem is losing his galleons. That is
Scouts.
unfortunate. Scouts.
Scouts are so strong.
Okay,
Galleons
now it's Harstem's, but he has 1 galleon. Well, 3 again to fight them. But
The Han and Horner galleons are not very good against anything actually. They just deal like tickle damage.
they're good at producing stuff.
Yes.
What do you recommend for Han and Horner here? I would recommend that Harstem build like a couple of missile turrets at the ramp, and then bait the enemy to there.
I think he's doing the right thing. He's getting the carrier upgrade. They're also letting the second train go, which I think is a good idea.
Interesting.
Since they were kind of late, they might as well not engage it. I think if you don't engage the train, the escorts will just go away, so you don't even have to fight them.
Yes, that does happen. Now they're gonna fight another wave, 10-minute wave with, let's see. Sal has 4 Mutalisks and 5 Ravagers. Meanwhile, Harstem has 4 Hellbutts, 3 Reapers, and 2 Galleons. I don't think that's still enough anti-air. Oh wait, they have 12 Interceptors. Will that be enough?
All right, here they are. They're fighting together, which is
Yes.
important.
That's
But
one thing I
think
can
they're gonna
say.
hold up this one just fine.
What?
First Brutalists.
First Brutalisk. Well, that is anti-air, so that will still be helpful. That being said, both of these are Sal's, so he needs to find the damage to destroy these scouts, and that is, of course, the Brutalisk. I wonder how long before Sal realizes that his best chance to beat this is with ultimate evolutions, fast ones.
He does have symbiote mastery.
Can't let them do that again.
That's good.
He's using symbiote mastery.
That's actually really awesome. But that being said, they're once again waiting at the ramp to engage the third train, which I don't think is going to help them one bit. Yeah, the longer they wait before they start hitting the train, the further it gets before they kill it. And that means the higher the
Next
chances
attack wave.
that they'll be out of position for the attack wave, which, yeah, is already on the way.
So, Abathur is floating 1,000 minerals. This can easily be turned into lots of
Static defense.
defense for
That's
stalling.
true. That's true.
Overlords are flying through the middle, taking some damage,
Well, that's
taking some hits.
tanking, I guess.
They're helping.
Yeah, because yeah, Sal's up to 164 supply cap, which means he can't stand to lose some overlords. That being
Alright,
said,
so now
the scouts are
now it's
absolutely
Abathur's turn to fight the train.
yeah, the scouts are absolutely brutalizing this army. Harstem is down to 84 supply, Sal is down to 96, and I dare say they're losing to scouts here, because What does Harstem's army consist of? 3 galleons and 5 hellbutts and 2 reapers. That is not enough to fight those hellbutts. That is absolutely not enough.
Against air, they definitely needed a devourer or two.
A devourer or two, but Harstem also has to kill his forces. I don't think he had at any point enough anti-air to deal with this many air units.
No,
he should have made more reapers or more galleons or turrets. I think turrets would on this high ground area.
I don't think he has built a single Horner unit.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. He hasn't built a single Horner unit, but I don't think they would work against this many scouts.
No. Well,
this many scouts? Yeah, I think turrets are better for this many scouts, or even mag mines. Save mag mines and then bait the scouts into those mag mines to kind of deal the splash damage on them, and then finish them off with reapers and galleons. I don't know. Anyway, that is attempt number 6 done. Attempt number 7. The prize has shrunk to a pathetic $7.81. That is honestly embarrassing to offer as a prize pool, but them's the rules. Let's actually watch what Upatree is doing. I noticed him going for a fast gas a couple games. He's doing the 1v1 player thing of APM spamming, and he once again looks like he's going for a fast gas. Yeah, he's really into that 1v1 mentality of making units getting upgrades and hoping that they have the damage to destroy the enemy. Whereas, I think they kind of need a little bit of help at this point. We should probably inform them that their best chance of fighting the first trade is through getting a fast Brutalisk, and they need to lure. Do you think once we let Harstem and Upatree know that the Brutalisk is the way they would be great at luring enemies into toxic nests?
I think they also need to know how to manually detonate for maximum efficiency.
Yes. So
and,
that's
without practice, that's really hard to do.
That's true. They need to learn to manually detonate toxic nests. They need to lure, but and obviously they need to know how to use mend. My goodness, they lost so many units because Upatree forgot that mend exists. That is unfortunate. So look, Upatree's now floating 136 gas, and he's making another extractor. I think he's really banking gas for Ravagers and Mutalisks. He really wants that gas-based army. Whereas in reality, he just needs 100 biomass on a single unit to turn into a Brutalisk. An amazing.
If we were playing P2, I think that would make a little more sense since the units cost more gas.
Yeah, but
since it's not P2.
Sal doesn't have Prestige on Abathur. Certainly not Prestige 2 on anything.
That's fine.
Yeah, but he definitely needs ultimate evolutions at this point. Magmai's
Harstem has 100 gas. What's he gonna do? Oh,
Engineering Bay. Yeah.
Not the armory.
I think he wants the fire upgrade for the Hellbutts to help splash the enemy. It's Protoss this time.
They're fighting earlier. They're fighting closer.
Yeah, that's good. Now, if only
artillery.
Oh, that's Reaver Disruptor. That's really bad.
That's not gonna end well.
Yeah. If only Upatree put down some toxic nests here, just outside the base, they would have been able to fight the enemy waves here and the escorts a little earlier. And of course, Harstem would be able to drop the space station earlier as well. It hasn't clicked yet. It unfortunately has not clicked yet for them. And Harstem is wasting more mag mines on polarized derps. And poor Sal is trying to fight these derps head on with roaches when he has a toxic nest right behind these roaches to lure the derps into that deal so much more damage. That's so unfortunate.
It's also nice that he has his toxic nest do 182 damage, which is perfect for killing adepts and stalkers.
Yes.
So it's like that's like the if he had just like 1 or 2 points less, he would not be able to kill those things.
Oh wow.
That would have been much tougher.
So it's actually perfect, but he just doesn't know it yet.
Yes.
Yeah, I think once I think this is one of the tricks that they need to learn in order to beat this mutation as Haden, Horn, and Abathur. They need to know that toxic nests deal way more damage than roaches.
Putting
Oh.
the toxic nest right along the track is actually very bad because you like if the trains have polarity, you're gonna deal 0 damage and you lose the creep spread.
Yes.
And you don't hurt any. You basically got 0 value.
0 value. By the way, oh, bug train.
Bug train, good.
I actually was gonna say that Harstem dropped Space Station 605, which is way later than normal, and it doesn't bite them this time, but they're still kind of scrambling back to fight the attack wave. But again, that doesn't mean that it was a good move. Yeah, it just happened to work out, but it's still not something that it's recommended if you want to consistently beat this with these commanders. Of course, consistently beating these commanders requires to be really, really good. They're fighting together, really good.
Fighting together, and adepts don't do much damage, so they'll be fine here.
Absolutely, will be fine. Making more Ravagers.
With downtime, Abathur should be looking around to pick up any like
biomass
clumps that are lying around, especially ones that you don't have to fight for, like the one at the ramp in the natural.
Yeah, Upatree hasn't gotten to that mentality yet. He's still in that 1v1 mentality of all that matters is that you spend your money and make goods and get upgrades. He doesn't know that Abathur's most important resource is actually biomass, and you need to be looking for biomass all the time and concentrating them in a few units so that they turn into ultimate evolutions.
This next one, I think there are immortals.
Yeah, probably.
And,
but
Ravagers are not armor, which is nice.
Oh, that's good. At this point, I think they would be really thankful to have Vipers.
Ooh, Mend was used.
Mend. Oh yeah, Mend was used. I actually think. Wait. I think it was actually a misclick because they weren't really damaged yet when they used Mend.
Mend was used again.
Oh, that was more intentional, I think. Yeah, I think that one was intentional. I think Upatree just learned what Mend does.
Really good.
He misclicked it.
Him along the line.
He misclicked it.
He's using the files on the train.
Oh, that's good.
The files, which is good. Yes. So deal a lot of damage, and then ooh,
bugged out.
It bugged out.
That's awesome.
So 2 bug trains, very good.
That's very lucky. But luck is still part of it. Luck's still part of the game.
So in this situation, Abathur's army should be with Han and Horner, and one guy can go out collecting biomass.
These three immortals.
Yes.
These three immortals pulled them out of position. Look,
they were there because of the Hellbat spear.
Yeah, but the immortals ultimately pulled them out of position so that they're not facing this army head on. They had to kind of scramble this location.
It turned out all right.
Yeah, it did turn out all right. That's true.
It turned out all right.
But again, that doesn't mean it's something that they should replicate. They should look to replicate.
So right now, Han Horner is finally getting strike fighters. Han Horner should get strike fighter platforms much earlier because you want to when you want to soften up the enemies, you can pretty much one-shot any
spellcaster
ground units.
Oh,
and with vision, you can kill all the ones that belong to you, especially threatening enemies like High Templar. You want to at least take out their first life.
I like how the I just noticed something. When the immortals were walking in the fog of war, their silhouettes were all facing forwards, rather than the direction that they're walking in. It kind of looked funny that all of them are facing, our direction or the camera's direction, rather than the direction of the train that they're moving into.
So that was a good call in the fleet usage. It did a lot of damage to the train.
It did a lot of damage.
Yes.
Oh!
But he also used the space station.
Yeah,
to
that
finish
was
off, which I think was
unnecessary. Yes, that was kind of a waste. Especially since...
Space station on the attack wave would have been a little bit better, but I would have used it in the
double train.
Fourth train.
Yeah, double
But
trains. I think
it's all right. They're getting large armies. They're fighting, and Abathur needs to take out the train. He almost has it taken it out.
he's almost there. The bad news, he doesn't have an ultimate evolution, which would have been great in taking this out, or even static defense on top of his extractor. If Sal made a couple spine crawlers on top of his extractor, that would have poked away at the train until it died, so he didn't have to chase it, and he would be very much in position to fight this wave.
But they're here together fighting this next attack wave, and that's good. So they can deal with this pretty easily. As long as they're
True,
fighting together, they should be fine.
but Harstem lost a lot of supplies. He's down to 126
Better step on it, commanders.
because he was fighting Polarity stuff.
So Han and Horner has 4 ravens. That's probably too many. You don't need 4 ravens.
Oh,
And now,
Harstem is targeting down the disruptors, but not the Reavers.
yes, that's very good. Yes, that's very nice. But the Reavers, they are very scary.
Yes, I would say the Reavers even more so than disruptors.
There are,
Days reported.
Ooh.
all the little Han units have been killed by the Reavers.
Yeah.
So, that's heavy losses there.
That's heavy
First
losses.
Leviathan,
You know what would have been helpful here?
Vipers.
Vipers, exactly. If Sal got Vipers as early as... Yeah, remember in our run, we didn't win until we started getting Vipers around 10 minutes. And that's really what allowed us to survive the third train onwards. Because we could keep the enemy under control, and we could focus on the trains while the escorts are derping around. That was the super helpful thing that kept us alive. And now, Harstem is down to 103 supply
Ooh,
with that
battlecruiser.
battlecruiser. Yeah. Oh, bugged out.
Nice.
That's good. But look, their army is entirely surrounded. It's actually entirely surrounded by enemies.
And Immortals are very, very strong against Brutalisks.
Against Brutalisks.
So that Brutalisk is not going to live very long.
And so are Reavers. There's still a Reaver here that's still dealing damage. Ooh, lost that Ravager.
Fortunately, they haven't let a train go yet, so they're letting one now.
Yes.
They're letting one go now, which is fine.
That's their train to give. Oh, lost the battlecruiser right away. Ooh!
Ravens are expensive.
Just lost a bunch of Ravagers. That's unfortunate.
There's a Reaver harassing the mineral line, just like Starcraft 1.
Oh! Oh, look! Oh! That's some insane value on that Reaver. My goodness. This crazy Reaver. Oh, wow. It's still going?
All his stuff. It's still there.
Reaver's just
But they're
going
busy.
crazy. Yeah.
Busy taking out the attack wave. They're still there.
Oh, yeah, look.
I think Han Horner has realized the power of air units, so he's got a second battlecruiser.
That's awesome. Oh, but this Reaver,
Fortunately, this Reaver's still doing a lot of damage.
the MVP Reaver right here, just smashing all of Sal's stuff.
The minion fleet can disembark anytime.
There's something hitting here.
Our allies are being attacked.
Okay, they cannot let this train go. They've already let one of the trains. They cannot afford to let another one through. The bad news is Sal is hurting.
Maneuvers.
Oh yes, they actually
Probably against this train is very nice.
yes. But that being said, it was way too late.
The Reaper's still there. The Reaper's still
The
there.
Reaver's still there.
So he used both call down.
Oh man, is it even enough?
Felt that it was necessary.
Is it even enough? I think it was absolutely necessary because they need to kill a train as fast as they can. But it didn't need to be necessary. Because if they
There's
only...
there are no Han units on the ground. It's that they're all getting killed by the heavy splash damage
Oh no.
from Reavers and Disruptors. So he has battle cruisers, Ravens, and four carrier galleons.
4 carrier galleons. And I don't think that's enough. Oh, several scouts flying in with the derps.
Scouts are
Scouts are really good.
strong against air.
In co-op at least.
If this train doesn't bug out, Abathur won't have enough time to kill it.
Oh. Will it bug out?
Still 600 HP, 500.
Will it bug out?
He's using strike fighters.
Oh, it did!
Got it.
It did! Very lucky.
Got it.
That being said,
Bugged out.
Sal's main is completely empty. That Reaver cleaned out everything. My goodness.
They must get both of these double trains as well, and the wave is still here.
Ah.
They got the train, but they knew like there's no way.
They left. That's unfortunate. Did Harstem completely lose his entire army? Ah, yes. He's completely out of army. He doesn't have
He was
galleons.
rebuilding 3 galleons.
Yes, he
That's
needed
not
to.
the time.
He needed to tunnel vision on the train just to get it to die, and that was enough for the enemy to finish off the rest of his army, which was unfortunate. This was the furthest they got, but still, they lose attempt number 7. Attempt number 8, this is actually the last replay that they sent me. The prize pool is down to an embarrassing $3.91, which is actually less than the value of a Twitch sub at this point. Man, this mutation. Although they did get further, didn't they? Did they too?
They have gone further than any of the previous attempts.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with luck in bugging out the train. Oh, sad to say.
Quite a few trains.
Quite a few trains bugged. I would have liked to say that they're getting better, but I think Upatree has a lot to improve on. For Abathur. He still keeps getting the gas first, and yeah, he is getting Ravagers, but a Brutalisk I think would be much more helpful in the early game so that they don't waste stuff.
It's because Abathur doesn't play like normal commanders.
Yeah, Abathur doesn't play like
You don't want to
1v1.
make a large army for no reason.
That's true. And you don't want to split the biomass in between your army. You need to be careful in microing biomass collection. One single unit needs to collect all the biomass to make it into an ultimate evolution, which will be your anchor pretty much through the mid game.
I believe Harstem has realized the power of battlecruisers
Yes.
and air units. So he has gotten double gas early this time. Much earlier than in previous run.
But he's harvesting one guy on one and 2 guys on the other.
Yeah. He's keeping 14 workers on minerals, so they get maximum mineral saturation, which is fine. I think that's fine.
The unfortunate thing is he doesn't realize that the left gas is far, so he's actually yielding less gas income by putting 2 guys in the far gas instead of putting 3 guys on the close gas first.
It's not a big difference, but it is a difference.
It is a difference, and in a mutation like this, you want every single edge you can get, and you don't want to give anything away for free, including gas income.
Yes. Toxic nests are still being placed along the track, which
Yeah,
unfortunately, that like the enemies don't walk there. So
to the bitter end.
the point of toxic nests is you want to kill enemies with them, not
To spread creep.
objectives. Not to spread creep.
Yes. And one more thing that Sal needs to learn. He needs to learn to make Vipers. Vipers would render a lot of ground enemies that are normally scary into pathetic little things that would just be picked off, like Reavers, Disruptors, Immortals, Siege Tanks, Thors, Lurkers. They would all be rendered useless with Vipers. You can also abduct them. Even hybrids will be rendered useless, although they're mostly useless right now, but they would be rendered even more useless if Sal learned how to make Vipers.
So it's a evasionary swarm rematch.
Yeah, classic ground Zerg, but they're wasting so many of these toxic nests.
I
And
wonder if that's intentional to pull them back like that. I
I wouldn't think
I
so.
don't think so, but it's doing something.
It's doing something. It's putting them further away from the train, from engaging early.
Blow up that train
That's what it's
before it
doing.
reaches its destination.
But yeah, in our game, I think I made 3 Vipers. How many Vipers do you recommend for Abathur?
It's not about the number of Vipers, it's about
The
getting
usage.
full biomass Vipers.
Ah,
They get-
right.
They get focused, so if they have full biomass, they become a lot stronger. Like, they have a lot more HP, so they can survive.
So even 1 Viper is enough, as long as you're careful about
I
getting
would
its
say
biomass?
3 or 4, but like, you want
There we go.
them to have lots of biomass.
So yeah, three Vipers with lots of biomass to get them energy regen, also health regen. Space station at 559, so it didn't actually improve for Hot and Horner.
Hostile forces sighted.
The time that they dropped the space station is still pretty much the same as before. They didn't really give themselves more time to kill the train. They just
Also, yeah, when all the Zerglings are dead, the Hellions should turn into the Hellbats should turn into Hellions.
Oh, yes,
and
that's
deal more
true.
damage to the armor.
That's true. Hellions deal more damage to armored, but they might actually bug it out. No, it doesn't bug
No.
out. And the Zerglings are here. Oh wait, Abathur has a Brutalisk. That's good.
Yes, that's very good.
But the
That could be
train is
useful.
getting away. So yeah,
Just ready for deployment.
there's creep here to the top left or to the northeast of Abathur's base. If Abathur just made a bunch of spine crawlers here, that might have been enough to get the train low enough for the Brutalisk to finish it off, I think.
I think if he had used Deep Tunnel right after that fight, he could have used 1 Brutalist to fight the train, and then the rest of his army to fight those Zerglings, and it would
Is
have
that
been
enough? Really? Interesting.
Because the train walked over the Toxic Nest. It was at 2,000 HP.
I still would
So
have
it was only
put
a half
down.
life.
I still would have put down some spine crawlers.
Yes,
To
that would have helped, but like at that point, when
Yeah.
with no spine crawlers there, I think if he had known about Deep Tunnel, he probably could have still killed it.
yeah, maybe, but spine crawlers would have guaranteed it.
We got one
Yes.
fastest. Can't let
That's
that
for
happen
sure.
again.
Yeah.
We've got a reputation to maintain.
So now they're once again making the mistake of letting the train get too much headway before it starts getting damaged. They cannot let the train go unmolested for half the map. They need to start hitting as early as possible, so that they kill it earlier, so that they're in position to intercept the next waves and not scrambling to run back into their burning bases.
You see, and Hana Horner got a Raven, which is really nice. That allows you to see where to like target your strike fighters.
Oh yes,
so you
that's
can
true.
weaken waves.
That's true.
You can weaken them before
Before you engage.
Yes.
Brutalisk engaging. Ravagers not shooting their... Oh, wait, here they go. Shooting vials. Oh, in between the trains. That's good. Or in between the cars. Yeah, because if you shoot in between cars, you deal damage to each car, and you also increase the likelihood of bugging it out. Widow Mines this time.
So
Oh, will it bug
if
out?
he is
It bugs
Oh,
out.
That's nice, bugged out.
Destroyed.
If he insists on using Ravagers, he should definitely get the Hive and get the other
Oh
Ravager
yes,
upgrade.
there's another Ravager upgrade in the Roach Warren, and you need the Hive for it. So you actually want to get an Infestation Pit and then the Hive. The bad news is he doesn't have enough gas for it. So if he were to realize that, he would probably just go heavier and even more heavily into gas, so that he can rush to Hive, because the Infestation
He
Pit.
has the gas to do it.
are not
He's
cheap.
just using it on Queens and stuff
Oh yeah.
and Ravagers.
Also use Mend more. He did use
Fortunately,
Mend
the
this
train
time.
bugged out, so they have time to
I'd encourage Rob
fight
to
the
play
second
defense
wave without
with these guys.
worry. There's
That's
still a
true.
lurker here, and this is kind of wasting time.
Yeah.
Middle Mines.
They don't
Very
actually-
terrible choice against Polarity.
And
So
trains.
he's trying them out, but they're unfortunately not going to do very much because they're going to shoot things that they can't damage.
That's true. Yeah, these two lurkers are actually wasting so much time. Harstem and Upatree could be fighting this train now. Instead, they're wasting time on the lurker. That's not going to do them any favor later
The
on.
lurkers were bugged out by the fire bats.
Yeah, the
earlier,
fear.
So they're actually not really relevant.
Exactly. And yet Harstem and Upatree are wasting their precious time fighting these irrelevant things instead of starting to whack the train as early as they can.
Calling the fleet. That's
Good,
good.
that's
This
good.
one, this train is first life belongs to Han Horner, so
It will
Calling the
deal
fleet can
damage.
deal lots of damage to it.
That's really good.
And
So-
he has 2%. He has a few points, 1 or 2. I think 1 point of fast range.
Ooh. He used both top
He
bars
used the
again.
space station as well, which is probably enough to take it out.
Yeah,
See
but
if it
that
bugs
being
out.
said,
Ooh, does not
it
bug
doesn't
out.
bug out.
So
It-
now
That being said, even if you deal a lot of damage to the train using the space station, you'd probably want to have the space station for the next train, especially since it's a double train.
yes,
So I wouldn't necessarily
Well-
recommend the space station right there.
Abathur is using his men. Maybe I don't know how liberally he's using them, but he's using them, which is good. He's
That's
getting
good.
The value out of them.
Yes.
And now they're gonna be ready for this attack wave, which
That's-
is good.
that's
Timing
perfect.
Is great.
And actually, Upatree has enough gas for like 6 Vipers. My goodness. Vipers would be so massive here, especially since Lurkers and Hydralisks are both
Yes.
ground-based. So Vipers would be
This-
incredible here.
This enemy com is basically ground, except like a queen.
A queen or 2. Oh, look at this! Look at this wave! Oh man, Vipers would
Ooh,
so
Wave is
destroy
really nice
this.
for them.
Yeah. Oh, another Brutalisk for Abathur. Abathur's actually at 138 supply.
Abathur's still on lair tech, so he hasn't gotten the upgrade for the Ravagers.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Someone tell Sal. Well, Sal, if you're watching, Roach Warren, there's an upgrade here that will increase the damage of Ravager Biles. Also get Vipers. You will neutralize his entire army, so instead of taking damage, you'll just be able to focus on the train and not lose army. Look at Harstem. He's dropping down to 103 supply. If you had disabling clouds, he would not lose his army, and he would retain the firepower to delete everything that's not yours. And now he's
So,
down to
Just like in the previous run, all the Han units have died because they're very fragile.
they're flimsy, they're weak, they're all that stuff. The Ultralisks are doing massive damage here. I
don't think Little Mines hit the train. He's continued to make them.
this Ultralisk has 5
Not sure
kills.
why.
The other one is 7, and they're about to
Remember,
finish
they have
off.
to get both trains.
Yes, they have to get both trains.
And the top train is still on its first life.
Unfortunately, Harstem is completely out of army. He has 3 Widow Mines, a Hellbutt, and 3 Galleons. That is not enough by any means. This Ultralisk has 7 kills. This one still has 5. That is not enough. They will
And
lose their last attempt of the day. And another wave incoming, about to destroy what's left of. Oh wow, this commander is about to go down. Oh, Sal's lair also already went down. That is unfortunately not gonna be it for this. Not for this video. Maybe they will come back later and retry it. Maybe they'll switch commanders. If they switch commanders, the prize is no longer available. They need to beat this mutation as Han and Horner and Abathur for the prize to still apply. And now that they've lost attempt number 7 or attempt number 8, the prize has gone down to $1.95. My goodness. So better luck next time. Also, engage the train earlier. Use your toxic nests to delete waves by manually detonating. Make Vipers. Get your strike fighters earlier. Make areas for Han and Horner. Use if you want to get Ravagers, use the Hive upgrade on the Roach Warren. But my recommendation is still Mutalisk. I think Mutalisks are still a safer choice for Abathur, so he doesn't get whacked by anti-ground stuff. Maybe that's just me. Anything else you'd like to add to?
His Ravagers were doing fine, but if you're fighting like against heavy ground AoE like Reaver Disruptor, then they're going to be in trouble. Whereas Mutalisks are safer and they can fly across the map more quickly to help your ally.
True.
For Han Horner should definitely not use more than one call down per ship, per train.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
the double top bar ultimately did them in.
yeah. Once the economies once the economies go in, I think Han Horner can focus on making Hellbats plus battle cruisers. Hellbats for the fear and stall, and the HP just kind of stalling on the ground, while the Horner units are the real damage dealers, because you want to be able to take out that train quickly. You can get like a Hellion or so for that stim upgrade, the attack speed buff when they die.
Yeah,
which is also helpful.
that is indeed very helpful. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for what else you do, please leave that in a comment. If Harstem and Upatree will continue this, I will continue this video as well, to see how much money they ultimately win in the end. I will see you guys next time. Also, again, thank you to Bao Marketing for helping us earlier.